Good afternoon and welcome to I Was Once Depressed. I'm your host, Sarah Mwansa. Now on today's show, we've got a renowned motivational speaker and business strategy consultant. His name is Felix Banda. Now this is not a new name to people that are in business. And if it's a new name to you, then you are yet to learn something about this incredible man. Now, he's a man who's got a life that is so spectacular. He lives a life that is larger than life, and he has a very special story that he's going to be sharing with us here today. Mr. Felix Banda. Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon, thank you very much. I'm excited to be part of this program, and I'm sure by the end of it, even our depression, the two of us will be down.
It will be over, indeed.
It will be over, sure.
I'm honored to host you on this show. It's
Thank you very
indeed a pleasure.
I wish you well in life.
Thank you so very much. So, Mr. Banda, Mr. Galamukani, I don't know which name I should.
Galamukani is
Galamukani
does it.
Definitely. Now, Galamukani, you are known for all the great talks that you do, the motivation, and even the business advisory that you give. But the sides of you that we don't know. So give us just a brief overview of who you are, your life, your journey, your family.
Okay. I was born 49 years ago.
Right.
In the month of May on the 17th in 1973. I was born in some place where now there's a school that has been set up called Justin Kawe Primary School. I don't know whether it's a basic school now. And that's where my father and my mother were staying, but they had to demolish the houses. When they were demolishing them so they can put up the school there, that is the time that I was born. Now, traditionally, you don't go outside before the umbilical cord is, And then my father, I don't know what he had done. He used to drink a lot. He was in the cells briefly, I think for a day, maybe on the 16th or something. Then I was born on the 17th, and I had to be seen by the people before the umbilical cord issues were. And my father just felt this guy has been born during troubles or something. So he named me Trouble. So my original name is Trouble. In 1981, when I was starting school, I was too small. So they used to ask us to do like this to touch your ear, and then but I couldn't. So I failed to go there. But my father was a little bit known in the community, and he talked to one of the teachers that they shouldn't leave me out. He forgot to ask my father the name of the child that they wanted to enroll. So because he was preparing the last list, he just indicated my father's name, Felix Banda. And that's how I became Felix.
That's how you became
in 1981, because I needed to be squeezed into the system. That was way back in 1981. Then I was at Mutambe Primary School. Then I moved from there to Olympia Primary School. My father was a personal manager in the United Bus Company of Zambia, the one that has been revived now.
Right.
So he was he was the HR manager for the northern region, at some point the southern region. And then we moved to Kitwe, to Ndola. My father was moved to Ndola. We moved there. I was at Kanini Basic Primary School, and then again my father was transferred to Lusaka. And one of my fathers, my uncle in English, asked that he must stay with me. So I moved to Kitwe. That's how I found myself at Kitwe Boys Secondary School. So I did my Form 1 or grade 8 to grade 12 at Kitwe Boys Secondary School. And then I found myself going to the University of Zambia. Another exciting story on how I found myself there. So got married in the year 2000. I got 3 lovely children. 2 are in university. 1 is in senior secondary, and that's my life.
What an amazing story. Okay, so I really love the part where your name had been switched. Sounds like it was fate, so should we say God's plan?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so tell us a bit about your brand name, Galamukani. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I'm a mathematics teacher by original qualification. Right. So I did a BAD in math at the University of Zambia. Right. I was working for Mr. Folotia, Rhodes Park School. Right. I worked there for close to 4 years, and I decided to resign so I could do my own stuff. So I set up a place for mathematics only. I wanted to be teaching math only. So like, you have problems in math, oh, go to the mathematics center. And the model seemed to have worked, but I needed to register it. So I went to Pakra at the time to register my company. And when I gave them the name Mathematics Center, they told me after search that it was prohibitive. Others would never get to use it, so I should change the name. Now, I thought I should give them a name. I was very frustrated. Then I thought of a name that I should give them that they cannot find in the system. Now, in my growing up, when I was in Quito, I was with my father, like I indicated. He was a JW, a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. So they do a magazine there called Awake Magazine. In Chichewa, the Awake Magazine is called Galamukani. Oh. and I thought I'm getting this one. So my Bemba friend Justin Kangwa just added the consult at the end of it, and we said Galamukani consult. Oh, and indeed, when they searched in the system, it wasn't there. But very divine, because the things that we started doing thereafter were not mathematical as such. And I'm glad that Pakra rejected the name Mathematics Center. It brought up the Galamukani thing. Yeah. So when I started doing a program on television, I just ended like I didn't have anything to say there. I said Galamukani. Then I was told that the sponsor liked it. I've forgotten the names. Right. And so I continued with it. And then it became a brand.
Wow. Yet another divine way that everything happened. That is so interesting. Okay, so you went on and you started speaking. You became a speaker. You've done motivational speaking. You've done a lot of consultation with a lot of companies, local and international. Now, bring us to the point where you had the attack that generally we, from layman's English, would say a stroke, but then you said that this was to do with diabetes.
Yeah. My father was killed by diabetes.
Yes, sir.
And I thought I was okay, but a number of characteristics I take from my father. And one day I thought, let me check the way I'm feeling, like let me just verify. When I went to the clinic, the nurse that checked my sugar levels was surprised that I had even made it to the clinic. I wasn't sick. I was alone when I attended at the clinic to have my sugar checked. And it was very high. And I went home, I told my wife, the situation is that I'm also diabetic from what has been found in terms of the sugar levels. And slowly it started killing some major parts in my body. My sight started depleting to a point that my left eye doesn't see at all. We have done everything that we could. Eye maintenance is very expensive, especially in the private institutions that have the things that you need to put. But miraculously, one eye survived. It is still there. It has a challenge, but for 4 or 5 years now, it has been seeing. I went to India. They tried to do something to both eyes, but I think it didn't work. So I was in Siavonga doing an assignment for some organization. It was a 2-day assignment. I finished. I went to my room. In the morning, when we wanted to start off, I tried to stand up. I just found that I could not. So from the waist downwards, I was paralyzed. And when we went to the hospital, we were told it is called peripheral neuropathy, which is a common neurosystem damage because of the same diabetes. And then it became serious to a point that the lungs were not functioning. The kidneys, up to now, I'm referred to as a CKD, critical kidney disease patient, because the creatinine in my system is higher than it should be. So there's a risk of dialysis, for that. But we are thanking God and praying every day what is going to happen to that. But what has happened in the process is that because of that, I couldn't walk. My mainstay in consultants was team building. So you need to do some games with the people, but then now I'm on a wheelchair. I cannot be able to do that. But at a certain point, critically ill to a point that I couldn't function to be hired, you know, to deliver. The kind of consultants is individual based, you know, but thankfully I have a very great social support system, right from my family all the way up to friends. You find it amazing that I get a call, I'm in bed, I'm sick, and they want me to do something. I accept the offer because I think probably by the time that it will be to deliver, I'll be okay. But I still find myself admitted in the hospital. A friend of mine, Dr. Pastor Chorwe, goes to deliver the assignment on my behalf and comes and gives me everything that I should have been paid for that assignment.
Wow.
Great friends.
Indeed.
My mentor, Chibamba Kanyama, would stop what he's doing to go and fill up a gap for me. I'm given an assignment by an organization. I tell them I want to make it, but my replacement is Chibamba. And Chibamba Kanyama goes to deliver on my behalf. Wow. And he doesn't get anything out of it. Emmanuel Mukula has done that for me. I have an assignment. He goes to deliver on my behalf to the best of his ability, to the point that the client says we are not shortchanged. So I get to a place where I can't function, but friends are functioning. So the brand is working, people are hiring the brand, but friends are standing in. Some of them are just say, okay, here's for gas, for what has happened. But all my friends promised that if I had a job, they would then stand in and, you know, help me. That's the kind of social support system I had. My wife, tremendous. If there's anything that I did very well in these 50 years I have lived on earth, is to choose a wife that is a friend.
Amazing.
A friend available all the time. One time I'm just coming from the bedroom, I don't feel fine. I go to the bathroom, I'm coming from there. The only thing that I remember is going on the couch, and the next moment I'm waking up, I'm in UTH, and there are people around me that are crying. From a layman's language, died, went to one of the private clinics, they didn't want a BID, so they said, no, not here, go to UTH. So my wife drove for 6 minutes from Nyumbayanga to the hospital. And when we got there, we found a fantastic lady doctor who didn't give up on just declaring me dead, but they did what they could. It means clinically I wasn't dead, but it's just a physical that, you know, we just feel this guy is gone. And they did whatever they did, and voila, I was back. Yeah, slowly, I couldn't even tell what was happening, but in the process, I was alive, and I'm still alive up to now. And those are moments that really make you feel very bad. So now, in the process, they found that I had TB, and they treated the TB. So when the TB is treated, it either goes just completely, or there is what they call, it heals with scars on the lungs. And so my lungs constricted, so they couldn't do the usual stuff. I needed external support for oxygen. So I was on oxygen for 6 months, 24/7, never removing it from the nose. When I remove it, we try to check the saturations, it's very low. The normal saturation is about 90%. I was in the 40s and 35%. Miraculously how it was happening, but I'm seated there. And what was very depressing about the situation, in line with our programming, is I still needed to provide. The model of how we had done things, or the way we were making money in the family, is that I was the center of it, and that was very depressing.
That was very depressing.
That was very depressing.
Can you say for you this was the most depressing moment of your life?
Yes. The oxygen part just made me feel. So we bought the machine and we, having that. But society still was very supportive. I was hired to go and make a presentation, and I go with my machine and I put those things there, and they cover it using the mask. And so I'm breathing using a machine and I'm delivering. No. The brain never died, fortunately. But at the end of it all, there's a certain ego that is affected, was affected by that, and that's a story about it. But slowly, I am recovering, but I remain with the hope. Yeah. So if I'm going to die, I'm going to die a very happy man. I'm not scared of death as such. But the thoughts do come in, how will my children survive? Because you look at one or two things that you've been able to do because of the brand, and when you are gone, how many can still maintain the brand, as in loyalty to the brand? Friends can be there, but even just like in this situation, they are there, but at a certain point, they also have their own issues. So they begin to come out of the handout kind of help. So how do you get to survive? You understand what I mean? Now you try to think about how miraculously that is happening. God has been very faithful, and things happen. But you think, if I'm gone, what can happen? I know they can survive, but the anxiety of what can happen will always linger. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Especially as a parent.
Yeah.
Who is still caring for their children.
Yeah.
Can you say now, though, that you're over that depression, or do you still feel there are times when you, like you said, that you think of how they would survive if you're not around?
I strictly speaking, because of the stigma that people have about depression, most of the people are actually depressed. Very true. The economy performance can be very depressing for an individual. Money answers everything, and the moment that in the equation doesn't balance, it will definitely bring in a little bit of challenge. I cannot operate at maximum. I cannot compete at maximum. So there are certain opportunities that I see bypass me because of my health situation. I want to be doing stuff on my own on the computer. I can't do that because of my eyes, so I need to depend on my daughter to be speaking, and it will not happen all the time. Maybe she wants to do other things, or she wants to go somewhere else, and I can't do that. So I will struggle. I have done an activity for an organization. I must do a report. Either I do it verbatim, or I need to struggle to type. So there is that. There certain times you just feel, God, what's this that is happening to me? But my children and my family are my motivation. When I want to slip into that, I just remember that they depend on me. Not just my immediate family, but even just the other, family. My young brother was having a wedding. I'm sleeping in bed, and it's coming, it's giving me like a budget as is asking me how I'm doing. You understand what I mean? So the degree of hope from the families is still there. My family, my children, my daughter will just come and tell me, I need some data. I need 165 kwacha now. You understand what I mean? Very small little money, but if you didn't work for it. So every day I'm thinking of what else can I do that will not depend on my physical presence, and going by how the economy is happening and things that are happening. Innovation is one thing that we've been teaching, but I think it has now come to a point where we must be very practical. And that's the idea of the magazine. I've written a magazine to send out the information, but quietly to make money for Pembe meal. You understand what I mean?
Let's talk about the books you've authored. You have authored a number of books, and one of them, the first book that you authored, We Don't Just Become. Tell us a bit about this book.
We don't just become, just from the title itself, that we don't just become. I was trying to show that these things don't just come like teeth in the mouth. like the members who say, "Tafisa fikwatame mkanwa." You understand what I mean? There must be something you must be putting in for the result that they are going to show. Even for the situation that we are in, no good results are just going to happen. They're going to happen because we have great network. So we're talking about network in that book, networking. They're going to happen because we have this determination. You must already have it. I've been nominated by the Roxy, the initiative for the Man of the Year. The Man of the Year. And I think the people that selected me to be nominated for that is because of the element of resilience. Right. So things don't just happen unless you are resilient. It's darkest before dawn is what is we don't just become.
Right.
Yeah, so don't give up, keep on moving. Like I indicated that you can be the Oprah of Zambia. You understand what I mean? Right. But the way it starts small. It's a small little thing that people are going to build on. So you can't sit with your skill and expect good things to happen. You must start in a small way. And it is in the small way that you end up meeting big people that give you great opportunities. And before you realize, voila, there you are. If it was written that that's how it's going to happen. Right. So we don't just become, but the other thing is God is involved in our becoming. So that's what that book is about.
And a clear example.
Yeah. Then I did Why They Are Broke.
Yes.
The idea is just financial literacy. You can get 3,000 kwacha and do miracles. You can get 30,000 kwacha and just squash it. And the example I gave is of my elder brother. I was working as a teacher, getting somewhere around 2 million those days, Right. My elder brother was a security guard, getting somewhere around 300,000. My elder brother built his house before I built mine. So a guard built a house before the teacher built a house. Who gets more? So it's how do you use the little that you have, as opposed to thinking about what else other people have, but also what other things can you do that can help you to keep the money. So it's earning it, saving it, and growing it. That's what that book is about.
Amazing.
Yeah,
tips.
sure.
Very amazing tips.
Yeah.
And
so when you leave this place, continue being broke, it means we didn't interact.
No, we did. There is no way after such an interaction. Then we have the magazine, the Galamukani magazine. This is the first issue.
Galamukani, Money Matters. I want to talk to SMEs, people that are in small businesses.
Right.
What are they doing that is different from others? Or what business opportunities are out there? Most people struggle. Okay, I get my 3,000 kwacha every month. I don't use all of it at once. What can I do with the 1,000? We want to share in business matters, so that people get to learn about financial earnings, financial savings, financial growth. Right. So it's again, how do you earn it? How do you keep it? How do you grow it? What investment opportunity? What is a bond? What are treasury bills? Right. What is a stock? We want those basic things for people to read through when they're here. So it's mainly also going to be online, and in the next 48 hours, I think we are throwing it on our page. Right. It will be very cheap on the online, but we're trying to find a way in which we can avoid the members spreading it as it were.
Right, and duplicating it and making money off of it.
Yeah,
so this is going to be a monthly...
quarterly, yeah. Right. So the next issue is due end of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
We look forward to it. It's such an amazing initiative, and I'm glad that it simplifies things that people in business look at as very difficult to understand. It's really amazing that you got to do this. Well, Mr. Galamukani, before we come to the end of our interview, we're just going to do a little short practice.
Okay.
Something very simple. And so what I have here with me are emojis. Okay, so, or smileys, as some people call them. So we've got different emojis, and when I show you one, you're going to let us know whether this is a point in your life where you are at or where you have been. So we'll start with this one, the sad face. This is an emotion you can say you're
sad face? No. Yeah. Pause that.
No, you post this.
Nah, pause that.
Great. This guy seems very happy, a cool guy.
That's
That's
Galamukani.
Galamukani.
That's Galamukani himself.
Indeed. In love.
Ah, very lovable.
Very.
I live amongst girls.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you can imagine the degree of love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the care comes your way. Okay, surprised in a happy way?
The doings of God
Amazing.
can be surprising.
Right.
There are certain times we are not very sure where the next meal is coming from, and a phone call just changes the whole month. We got a phone call 1 week ago. We are sorted out up to, if we are careful, up to December. We don't need to wake. God has sorted that out. So like, wow.
Amazing. That is very...
When you are just from writing to get a loan somewhere,
Yes.
and then suddenly a machine gun in the hand, not a shot in the arm. So that could also describe me.
That is amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. Crying. Really, really sad.
No, nothing like that.
Have you ever been
Those
at this
are
point?
occasional. Oh, sorry?
Have you ever been at this point, though?
Yeah, sure. I mean, several times. Like I indicated, every day, it's a stigma that we want to avoid talk about depression, and that is what even actually leads people to depression.
Sure.
I talk about it myself. I could be renowned. I could be the brand. There are certain times I'm very broke. There are certain times other people that I owe money trouble me a lot. There are certain times that I'm pressured with problems. I wake up at 02 and I can't sleep anymore until about 05. So it's real. There are occasional things, but the bigger side of it is that I look at the silver side. I look at the bright side of things. So occasionally I get to go through those. Even this morning at some point I felt like, what's happening to my health? You know, but there are things over which I have no control. And what should I do? And that is what gives me the energy to get back.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Right.
And one person put in a very exciting way that when you die, you go into eternity. Why rush for it? Can I enjoy this limited time in the meantime? You understand what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
So those moments will be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Such is life. Right. Okay. Do you feel like a very smart person? This looks like a very smart guy here.
My brain is solid.
Yes.
My brain has remained solid.
Yes.
Even where I have gone, I was doing something for the German government, and the representatives, when describing how they found my 2-day interaction with them, they said that it was effortless. And to me, that was a great accolade.
Wow.
You know, that people that are interacting at a very high level can still find you solid. The brain has been solid.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Silence. Have you ever felt silence? Have you ever felt that you've lost your voice? You've lost everything that you
Yes. Yes. There are certain times people have their own pressures, but sometimes you want them to look at you. You know, so my good friend will come, and we laugh, and the person leaves, but doesn't leave you anything. Or maybe they didn't even ask, like, did you eat yesterday? You understand what I mean? Like, you feel it is their responsibility. You understand what I mean? There are certain times you feel friends are not doing enough, but they have their own pressures. But listening to different sermons, there are certain times that God is quiet about some things. So I have learned also to think that silence is God doing something, and something big is yet to come. So this whole life doesn't center on me as such. But there are those moments that you feel, wow, do people care? You know, sometimes you have those thoughts. But what is consoling is that they have their own issues. But above it all, God does come through.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing
sure.
indeed. Okay, so we've been through this guy already, the sad face. Wow, thank you so much.
Sure.
I think we're done with this. Thank you so much. It's been such an inspiration talking to you.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful to see that in spite of all the challenges you faced, in spite of everything that you've been through, your health challenges and everything, you you've pulled through. You're still fighting and you're still making it. And with such a great support system in the family and friends that you have around you. And that is essential, especially for a person that's going through depression. And we thank God for everything that's happened. I believe it's happened for a purpose. And I know somebody has been encouraged and has learned so much from your story. So thank you so much for sharing.
It is well. It is well. And just for the cameras, just to demonstrate that there we are. There we are.
Wow.
That's Galamukani for you.
Wonderful.
So the next moment I'm going to run.
Wonderful. Indeed. We look forward to seeing if I'm running with you.
Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you so much.
All the best in your pursuit.
Thank you so much.
With your team.
Thank you. Thank you. We're humbled.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's been today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, such an inspirational life, such an inspiration of a man. If you were not inspired by this, and I don't know what is going to inspire you, because this is a story of triumph, continuous triumph throughout life. And to see Galamukani still being the brand that he's put and still being a solid man that we know him to be is such an inspiration. And I hope you've gained inspiration from today's show. Until next time, my name is Sarah Mwanza, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.